All right, everybody, this is Cindy, and I'm about, well, chances are you already know Lisa, but before I do my spiel to tell you why we're here and to love on you and all the rest of it, I've got a favor to ask. If you are listening to me right now, there is a reason. And so sink into that and then hit the share button, because there are others that are going to want to tap into this energy. And man, being of service and sharing things like this just, well, not only does it do wonderful things for your friends and for the world, but it just feels good. So hit share. And now I am delighted to be here with Lisa. She is a dear friend. Someone at the end of 2017 wrote me an email and they said, Cindy, you've got to meet Lisa. You've got to do her program. And there was something in me that lit up and I said yes. And nothing about my life has been the same since, in all good, awesome sort of ways. So that's what Lisa is for me. She is one of the presenters at the upcoming Know Thyself conference. And we're here to introduce you to Lisa. We're here to invite you to attend that weekend, April 24th through the 26th. You can come on for free live and hang out with Lisa. And man, I get all the numbers wrong. I think there are 27 or 28 presenters, all sorts of amazing people. And once you hit that register button, you can pick and choose where to go. But hey, Lisa, would love for you to say hello and introduce yourself and tell the world how happy you are to be here.
Thank you, Cindy. Yeah, I'm excited for this upcoming conference. It's called Know Thyself Conference. It's April 22nd through the 24th, and it's totally free for the live 3 days. And so I really invite everyone to click on the registration button. And I always just invite people, if you really love what the weekend is, to upgrade, to really just give a donation, upgrade to the recordings, get the bonuses. And it helps us to keep it free. It just helps this unbelievable lineup of teachers. I mean, it's like crazy, the teachers who have said yes to this 3 days. And these are the teachers, many of them, who I really had my direct awakening with. I mean, I've had A Course in Miracles since 1992. I love it. It's brilliant. I just think it's life-changing. But at the same time, I was really stuck. I was really stuck in intellectual, I guess. I always just felt like, well, I'm not supposed to feel things. I'm not supposed to be anything other than happiness and at peace. And I was all sorts of things. I was a whole range of emotions. And so I was always just feeling, I think I'm doing it wrong. I must be doing it wrong. Because I'm not happy. I'm not in peace. And so for me in 2017 or 18, I started just looking more into some of the non-duality teachers, and they'll all be there. They've all said yes to being there during the 3 days. And I just started looking at just some of the ways they express getting to truth. It's all paths lead to the same place. It's knowing thyself. That's what the conference is about. And A Course in Miracles uses very Christian terminology, and that's fine, but I think a lot of people get stuck in that. They just think, well, who's Jesus and God and Christ and the whole hymn thing on, he and Father and I love A Course in Miracles. I've got all my copies right here. I read it every single day. I'm back to looking at it again, but I'm awake and totally free because of the teachings that that I heard from those that are going to be here on this 3-day weekend. So to me, this is an invitation for anyone who's really just saying, I want to know the self. I want to know what it is to live completely free. And in this world, just what does that look like? What is that? And the final thing I just want to say on this note is, just because I've been around the block a lot, I talk to a lot of people. I do a lot of different classes, and a lot of people are like, I'm so over workshops and weekends and Zoom calls and so done with it. And I just want to really invite people just to look at that for a second and say, okay, well, maybe you are, but if you're struggling or you're suffering, it's nothing to hit that registration link and just show up. Nothing. It doesn't take anything. And that's what it took for me, is I heard one thing, one idea welcoming, which I'm going to talk about on that Saturday afternoon is my session. It changed my whole life. Absolutely changed my life forever, because Bill told me, my husband Bill told me, he heard it from Rupert Spira, who's going to be there. He heard it from Francis Lucille, who's going to be there. So sometimes we have to hear these things from another person. We have to just say, oh, okay, I guess I knew that. But then you hear it and it becomes your experience.
So at this conference, I know you, but so I'm going to ask, because not everybody does. You're not going to just lecture, are you? It's going to be somewhat experiential. What can people expect who attends your session at the conference?
Yeah, I like being interactive. I work best when I can get things back. Like my topic is called welcoming as a way to awakening and healing. And so I'll give a little lecture in the beginning, but I just like seeing who's in the room. I like getting people to really look within and post on the chat board, because that's where people have a direct experience. It's like when you just listen to someone and you stay passive, it's just like intellectual and conceptual. But when you actually look within and you find out where the blocks are, what you've been doing, like what exactly have you been doing? That's where the change occurs. And then of course Q&A, I absolutely love. I love taking questions and like I'm the founder of the Healing Cure. I do this 8-week online program. It's also a digital program, and often people will speak in general terms. They'll say, well, I'm in this habitual loop. Can you help me? And I'll say, well, can you give me specifics? As soon as someone gives us specifics, it's like, oh, there's the problem. Like, it's like we go more into the specifics, like, because when someone can really be clear what it is that's the problem. And a lot of times people will use hypothetical situations. They'll say, well, what do we do about, the war in Ukraine and Russia? Well, give me something specific. Give me, how are you affected? What's going on for you? Because that's where the block is happening. It's not, don't give hypotheticals. What if my husband or wife leaves me? Or what if my child dies? Or what about the sick people in some other place? No, what about you? And so that's what I like to do. I really love, I love the engagement. I love just being together, and yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
So I do have, and you brought it up, and it's a question that I asked John Mundy yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And I spent some time with Louise Hay last week, and both of those Facebook Lives can be found on this Facebook page. So you could look for their responses. The thing is, I've been interacting with quite a few people. I do work with people, and there are a lot of people that are just stepping into some level of intense anxiety,
Mm.
sadness, grief, constriction over what they're seeing on the news. In at least one circumstance, I have a dear friend who has family in both the Ukraine and Russia,
Mm-hmm.
and she's in the United States, with welcoming negative emotions and being in this place. Can you gift us all right here, right now, with a process, a thought, a word, something to help those that are currently having a really rough time
Mm-hmm.
with what's going on there?
Yeah, that's a great question, Cindy. The first thing for me always is be still. It's like I always have this practice, and I picked it up from my husband, Bill Free. It's just like my hand goes on my heart usually, and you don't have to, but it's just bringing, when someone's in anxiety or someone's in fear or worry, the energy is very chaotic. There's like an agitation that's happening in the mind, and then it's felt in the body. And so it's you having this situation where it's it's literally stress levels. It's like the body and the mind are in fight or flight. They're like, you could just say the energy is super scattered. It's like you start to go into panic, and then you feel helpless, and then you don't know what to do, and then the mind is searching for, what can I do? And so, like, it's just come home, like come back here. And what happens, I'm also certified as a heart math trainer, as a practitioner, and that shows the science. That shows the science of these chaotic energy fields versus coherent energy fields, where you actually have different chemicals start being produced. You can actually feel it. You can actually feel for a moment, and sometimes it's helpful just to shut the eyes. Okay, be still. And then the energies can come back. You just start to just bring yourself back, and then welcoming. That's going to be my talk. That's changed my life, because I kept thinking, as a Course in Miracles student and teacher especially, I'm not supposed to feel this way. I'm not supposed to feel grief. Yesterday on one of the Healing Cure calls, someone who's a Course in Miracles teacher feels very angry. She feels a lot of rage, but she said, but A Course in Miracles says anger is never justified. So what we do usually as spiritual people on a spiritual path is we have an emotion of grief. People are dying right now. And if anyone's on a spiritual path, there can be this avoidance technique of like, oh, I'm not supposed to feel grief. I feel afraid, but that's ego. So we have all these techniques that we do to avoid welcoming everything exactly as it is, to welcome grief, fear, whatever it is, anger. Don't call it by another name. Don't push it aside. Don't minimize it. Just welcome it. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And then from here, it's like something new can occur. If there's an action that's needed for someone, then it's given. But the first place is to reach this place of peace, which is here. It's available. It's no matter how chaotic the situation is, and that's the Christian terminology for it is seek ye first the kingdom, and that's what you. So you said, what's the first thing you would suggest? Just that. Just be still.
hard to speak after that, isn't it? So you've been in these conferences since day one. You and I have both been there since before we opened the doors for the first conference. We've met some really wonderful people, both teachers and
Yep.
participants. And for the most part, people that come and engage, they keep coming again and again and again. And I know if you have the money to buy the replays or to set up to donate, yes, but it's not expected or required. When you hit that registration button, you will get a free ticket to attend any and all of the conference live. And we really would love to see you in those rooms. It's just a lot of fun, and really big transformations, like you said, happen with just one idea, one thought, one moment.
Yeah. Well, that's just it. I just actually clicked over to this. The schedule's already up. So for anyone who's watching this, to just click that registration button. It's totally free to register. You'll have access to all 3 days. The schedule is up. You'll get to see the teachers. It's already up there. The times, you can mark your calendar. But I'm just going down the list here. I mean, the music, Jackie Greggs, oh my God, she's just like voice of an angel and is super sweetheart. And Rupert Spira, the ultimate healing. Shakti, Caterina, Maggi. I mean, a lot of people here that are probably unknown to many in A Course in Miracles. Amoda, just so many. And then there are Course in Miracle teachers here also. Kate Grieves, oh my God, right? We love her. Ellen Emmet, she rocked my world in the first conference. That I had never heard this idea. She's a non-duality teacher and a therapist and a yoga teacher, and she was the first time I ever heard that the body is in me. I never heard that before. Like we always hear that I am spirit expressing through a body, and that's not true even a little. So the truth is that what we are is all encompassing. Love's presence. It's changeless. It's eternal. It doesn't have a form or an age. And all bodies and this body and all events are in this perfect oneness. In this, so she does a lot of stuff that has to do with really being present in the body. Like a lot of the body dancing in pure presence, in consciousness. Like, so when you lift your arm, you're aware that it's not the body lifting the arm, it's the body that is like floating and expressing and being in this oneness. And the glass and the book and the you and so we hear these things, and I end up going to all the conferences that I can. Some of them overlap, so you can't really go to all of them unless you get the replays, and then you can watch them all. But I like being a participant over the weekend. I just clear the decks for the whole weekend, and I just go to everything, and it's fun to meet everybody. There's the chat rooms, there's the cafe. I love the cafe, and it's like being at a live event. It's wild, really. There's lunch breaks, there's coffee breaks, there's yeah, it's fun. I can't wait.
Lisa, I love spending this time with you. Is there anything else you'd like to share before we move on? The sun has shown up here in Western New York. It feels phenomenal. I'm gonna go stand outside for a minute, but
Yeah, I guess the only thing I would share is that there really is no need to suffer, for real. Like, then it's just the awakening is it's just whenever someone's ready. It's not later. It's not, it has nothing to do with some time that's an event later. It's all available now. What we are has always been in the background of experience, but we were so focused on our problems and difficulties and that we can't see it. So we have to really just widen the lens, just where it's take our focus off the little. It's like we just focus on this little thing. I don't like this scratch in this table. I don't like this. This shouldn't be here. This. What? Who did this? Why is this? And so that's what we do in life. We zoom in on something, and we're just like, when it's like we zoom out, and we're like, oh, okay, wow. The picture. It's just a widening, and that's that's available.
Right,
So
right.
click the button.
Click the button and hit share, and we'll read all the comments. So if there's anything you want to share with us, just let us know, and we love you. See you
Thank you,
soon.
Cindy.
Bye-bye.